Everybody, good morning. David, Everett, Infinity, Larry, Dex, Alan, Michael, Sergio, Merle, Gary, Nikki, Valerie, Goose, my man. Good morning, everybody. Brian, Ted, Swinborn, Darren, Cliff, Gregory, JB, Rongamer, good to see you. As always, Donald, Carlene, I don't recognize that name. Welcome to the stream. Penny, Alan, good morning, everybody. And Angie, morning. So if you want to chat with me like all these fine folks that are saying good morning and hey and whatever, all you got to do, click the link right here, down here where the monster is. My great morning monster. I don't drink hot liquids, so I don't drink coffee. I drink monsters in the morning. Well, I drink a monster, one single. Drink this 0-calorie ultra monster. Today it's the Pog flavor, like whatever they call it, papaya, orange, guava, Pog. Like a fruit punchy, kind of interesting flavor. Can't really put your thumb on it. And it's pretty, I mean, the white one's pretty tasty. So, anyway. Glad to have everybody. Chris, hey. Tara, good morning. Jan. And if you want to ask questions, chat with me, make sure you're subscribed, like I said, and that'll let you chat on the live stream. And if you're tuning in after I'm no longer live, you'll have to leave a comment down below or come join me in Discord, either one. And Discord's an interesting community, I have to say. Lots of stuff gets shared in there, so it's a great place to be. Hey, Arturo, Maurizio, Harry, glad to have everybody. Now, if you give me a thumbs up, you interact with the video, you chat, like all these things help YouTube realize that there's value in this content. So if you find value in anything I say today, give me a, interact with the video somehow. Give me thumbs up, hearts, whatever it is, and maybe share with a friend that could use some advice, or, not really advice because I don't give advice, but, maybe they could use some of the knowledge that I throw out there. So anyway, jumping over here, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss, and my green screen has moved. There, up, still see it right there. We go. There we go. Got it fixed. All right. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. I may never get this right again. All right. This presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining. Is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. Nothing from gurus. Don't buy the thing in the description unless you trust people. All right. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy futures. Don't buy bonds. Don't buy cryptos. Don't sell them. Don't short them. Don't long them. Don't do any of that stuff. There is a substantial risk of loss. All right. And if you desire personal financial advice on what to do, you need to find a financial advisor that speaks your language, that you kind of agree with, that has a performance track record. This is all difficult stuff to do. And hire them and consult them. When you hire them, they have a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your financial situation, which is not what I do. All right. I am not giving you advice based on your financial situation at all. I'm just out here throwing out some, I make some epic predictions, and sometimes they come right. I mean, look at Microsoft right there yesterday. Beautiful. I didn't even pull up the chart, but let's pull it up. Look at this. Look at this baby. 380 was my target. Right up there. I published it on X. I published it on the chart of the week back over a month ago. We tagged 380 right there. Let's see if I can find, there's a little doodad here that'll flag the high. I don't even see it at the moment. It's right there. I don't even know where the tools are. Makes me look like a pro, right? I don't use the price flag very often. So it's a tool. I don't even know where it is. And patterns. I don't even see it. Huh. I bet. Here it is. Call out. Price label. Right there. And snap it to the top. Snap, snap, snap. Right there. Yep. 380.64. There we go. There we go. I found it. So. There you go. Kapow. Now, when did I call for that? When we were right down here. All the way back, I think it was October 11th. Let's see, October 11th, right there, Wednesday. Yep, right here where we were down here. So 330 to 380. You could have made $50. I mean, that was a pretty good play, right? Let's see what that was. 330 up here. 14.74%. Dang, I just happened to get lucky again. Maybe there's something to it. So, and that was just on shares. You could have made 14%. Had you bought calls or something else, I mean, it's pretty nice. I am no longer in a long Microsoft position at this point. Can Microsoft pull back at this point? Yeah. And be careful, all right? Look what happened. Need I remind you? Look what happened to Walmart right after it hit the 1272. Right down here. Now, it could potentially be setting up again, but it does have significant resistance to going higher. So sometimes they get big gaps down. Sometimes, sometimes other things play out. So, I mean, it's just the same pattern over and over. It's the pattern I talk about every single day, every chart. It's the one I look for all the time. Bouncing off this line, my roadmap line, which link is in the description to get this thing. It's like a one-click add to your chart. I even give you the code. I mean, I have a YouTube video. If you want to go copy the code off a video and type it in yourself, I mean, it's like this or whatever, me pointing at the line. And it's back from the beginning of the year. You have to look back through the live stream archive. But, I mean, this thing works, all right? Do you have something that you're using that works? Let's be honest about it, right? So it's very simple. And look, I mean, I need to mute my phone apparently. So it works when it works and it doesn't when it doesn't. If you have a chart that's not setting up the pattern, throw it away. Like look for the patterns, all right? There's a big thing when people go down the rabbit hole of Elliott Wave. They start trying to figure out the count on any given chart, right? They get stuck. Like, what? I have to figure out where Apple is in the count. You're focused, hyper focused on Apple, and you're digging in, trying to figure out where Apple is in this chart, when it doesn't really matter. There's high probability setups, and if you just if Apple's not doing one of the high probability setups, just dismiss it. Like, don't look at it for now. Wait, come back and check it once a week, or, whatever it is, whatever frequency you want to look at charts. Build a little list and just check them periodically. And when they're set up, they're gold. I mean, the pattern works, but when they're obscure, when they're not doing the thing, when it's not clear, just move on. It's that easy. I mean, that's how I do it. That's how, it seems like JT's always got the patterns that are the gold. Well, I have spent years figuring out how to do this, how to figure out where the patterns show up that I'm looking for and how to scan for them. And so that's why you come to me, right? Because I can cut this all out for you and just help you find the ones that you're looking for. And for those that choose to support me, I teach you different levels of stuff. My highest level is my Inner Circle VIP, and that's where I share all the juice. People like Chris and Beth and Goose, Sledge, they're in that Inner Circle VIP. So, Nikki, I think you're a new member too. So that's where I share. I don't hold anything back. All the secrets are revealed on how to do this. You just have to ask me. If I'm not telling you or you're not getting it, just ask. I'll definitely try to help convey the knowledge. I'm just a guy. I'm not anything special. I'm not the best trader in the world. I found a pattern that works and it makes a bunch of money, just like this one right here. It's on the path, breaking out. Same pattern, heading up to the target. This one right here. Same pattern. Almost to the first target right there. And then it's part of a bigger weekly pattern that has the targets on up significantly higher. You just chase these and it works. So, I mean, I'm just saying. And these are easy. Like these are on a daily chart. I'm not even trying to day trade. Like day trading, you have to make decisions every candle. If you're looking at 1 minute chart, that's 60 decisions you got to make every hour. All right? Do you have the stamina to make a decision every minute of every hour on your trades? Or would you rather be on a daily chart where you just look at it once a day and make your decision? That's where I'm at. Like that's why a lot of my stuff I just look at the daily chart. It's much easier. And you can look at, I can look at 50 charts in a day and make decisions on 50 charts. Instead of focusing on one chart and making 60 decisions an hour. I mean, like if you're gonna day trade, even if you're on a 5-minute chart day trading, it can be a lot of decisions, right? So just keep it in mind. And the more decisions you make, the more times you're likely to be wrong and you get fatigued. Let's be honest about why day traders don't sometimes fail. It's a lot of decisions. You got to be right a lot of times. So, well, I sit here and look at upwards of 100, 300 charts a day. So it gets easier if you practice. It's like anything else. Was I good at predicting this years ago? Shoot, no. I was horrible at predicting where price was going. That's been the key, though. Once I could predict price, it's not really a guru I subscribed to. It was a kind of a person that gave me a handout, hand out and hand up. She was like, you do a lot of good for people, and I want to help you get ahead just a little bit. And she gave me a free 6 months to her stuff, and I kind of dug through it and watched it. And the one key thing she kept saying was once you can figure out the price patterns, that where price is going to go, it becomes way easier. And this is one of the key patterns right here that allows me to do that. Two of my favorite patterns, the roadmap line bounce and a measured bounce. And when those two come together at the same time on the same pattern, that's where the really powerful setups come in. So coin just happened to be one of those. And you can see, I'm up almost 900% on my coin trade. I'm probably going to close it because I don't have a lot of time left. My position's only out to January. So I'm probably going to close it when we get in here instead of waiting for my super big target. But I'm pretty happy with making 900% return. And that's, time. Time's the hardest part for me right now. But, if you just buy shares, you don't run out of time. So I've started buying some shares on stuff, like Netflix. I bought shares on that one back when I talked about it a few weeks ago. Back when I was like, this one's going to run back up to 500. I may hold it to 523. I've got a few shares. I didn't buy a huge number of shares, but the shares are making almost 25%, by the time we get to 500. I bought it 401 when we did that little pullback right there. 401. That's pretty darn good. Richard says, can you tell me how to get the chart? Which chart? This is TradingView. You can load up TradingView if you want the roadmap line, and the link is down in the description. You just expand out the little description. It says jeffreytrader.com/roundtable, and it's $5 for 3 months. And I give you the charts. Here's this week. I'll pull up this week's list. I didn't plan on going with this. This wasn't a planned monologue here. Let's pull up this week's list right here. 11/26, right? Yeah. Here's the list. It's not very long, but look. This one right here, potentially bouncing off of that right there, Comcast. Right here, another one. Now you can see they have resistance, potentially bouncing off the roadmap line. Another one, COP. Right here, potentially bouncing off the roadmap line. Next one up, EPD. I go through the market every single week and try to figure out a list of these that are potentially going to bounce. This one looks like an entry point right here, even. And I have a different chart layout that actually has all the fibs and stuff drawn. I go through a video each week, kind of running through the list, telling you what I would look for an entry, what the targets would be, and where maybe you should consider that this isn't going to work out. So this one right here, if we can break on through this zone, probably heading to 27. EQT, another one that looks primed to bounce. Could it fail here? Yeah, it could. I would be looking for this gap fill right there. Price to come back up through there in 46.48. OVV, next one on the list. Right here. Sitting there, just hovering. Maybe that one's going to break down. If so, you don't buy it. I mean, you put the fib lines on here. Right here, like this. Once we break above this high, right here, you see where this intermediate consolidation happened right there? We get above that, odds are we're going up here. Now, not all the risk to rewards are the same. That's why you got to be selective on your trades. All right. I publish the market roadmap on Discord, and it gets emailed out every week. Right here, SU, another beautiful one. And if you follow me on X and or you're in Discord, you saw my chart of the week, SYM. Another one right here. This is my chart of the week. I actually took a position yesterday, looking for 73, possibly 84. On the move up right here. I throw out free content all the time. Like I'm trying to help people get ahead. So Microsoft was my chart of the week, like back in early October. This one's my chart of the week now. We may see this one pop on up. It could fail here. Definitely could fail. I set an alert that I wanted to potentially go long when we broke above these highs, this consolidation, these two gap downs right here. Yesterday we were breaking above. I took a position. There's like a 70% chance we're going to come up here to the 73 area. So, hey, Mark, good to have you. So, anyway, there you go. It's the same pattern I chase every day in the market. The measured bounce pattern is probably my favorite one, but it doesn't always work out. This market roadmap pattern works out really often, and it may not have the as big a rewards on it, but it's powerful. Very, very powerful. And you can find it on every price chart. All right. Like when we look up, it's just a random crypto that I know has the pattern. Look, this was a roadmap bounce right here and a measured bounce right here. Like it was a combined thing. I bought at 25. I think it was, 24.50. I think it was. Look at the price now. Look at where it's been. I'm holding out for some loftier targets, like right up here around 90, possibly into the hundreds. It's just a matter of going through a list, finding these patterns that are set up, picking your spot, and going after it. Do some of them fail? Sure. Plenty of them fail. All right. Now, when do I choose stock? When do I choose options? It really depends. It depends on how big the pattern is. Here's one that Rungamer and I were talking about last night. All right. Anybody know what Stellantis is? Anybody in the chat? Now look, on the daily right here, I'm going to have to turn this magnet thing off. It's going to drive me crazy. On the daily, we may be pushing out to 21. Possibly 22. Now, if we go up to the weekly, and it's Dodge, Chrysler, yeah. And I'll share something in a moment. So if you jump up to the weekly, pull this down to right there. Look at that roadmap bounce on the weekly chart. Pull this down. We could head up to 23. Now, what do I see though? I see that we're finding a lot of resistance right here. at that 2077 area right there. Once, twice, 3 times. Now, we humans love a story, right? Love a story. So let me pull this up. If I can find Discord. Jump down to my chart of the week. Jump down to my stuff for videos. There we go. Pull this over. Make it bigger. Look at this. October days of supply of inventory. Look at the brands. Dodge, Chrysler, Ram. Anybody know 3 brands that Stellantis runs? It makes the top inventory days right here. Dun, 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 dun. That's all Stellantis. So they just signed a contract for labor that's more expensive than ever. They have more cars sitting on the lot unsold than ever. And they're sitting at a multi-year high. In fact, the highest high they've ever been. Does this sound like an opportunity ripe for a pullback? It's at the 1272. And we could potentially run the fib the other way. We could see a pullback into this zone down here. Like 15 possibly. Support there. Maybe, just maybe, we go on down. 11. Possibly we go retrace this whole big thing up. If that's a big sloppy correction type move up, we could come back down to this $8 area. Between 5 and 10. So, opportunity for a pullback right there on Stellantis, STLA. Funny enough, switch the T and the S, and then you have Tesla. And 2 different car companies with 2 different stories. And look what Tesla's doing right there. But we also had that big downtrend going. They're stuck right on the daily roadmap line. Is it going to bounce or is it going to break higher? I don't know. Could go lower. Now, switching back into what I actually brought for the day. We got the market open. We got consumer confidence coming up in about 20 minutes. And I'm not so sure that we're not rounding the top here. We could get a large outsized pullback here. Right back down to this zone. Be careful out there, all right? S5FI hovering right there below 80. We keep creeping up despite the market kind of being lackluster. Look at this. We're creeping up, creeping up. We may tag 80 and get an outsized pullback. Be careful. We could pull back from here before we pop 80. We're likely to pop 80 because we were down here below 20. It's kind of an oscillator of the market. Every time we're below 20, we usually go hang out above 80, and then we repeat the cycle until it calms down, but then it gets more violent again. See, we tend to hang out, just oscillate between the top and the bottom until we get out the bottom, and then we get a little crazy and go out the top, and then we come out the bottom, and then it'll start chilling out. We make less extreme moves in the market, but this tends to oscillate. We're up near the top. Highly likely, at some point, we start oscillating back down. That's just stocks above their 50-day moving average on the S&P 500. There's ones for NASDAQ, ND, I think it's NDFI. Yep. NASDAQ 100 stocks above their 50-day. We're hanging out right near the top. Closer to a top in the market than we are. I mean, look, we could spin. Look, the last time we were up in this area, we did get a pullback right there, but we hung out for 50 days, almost 2 months, 49 days before we really started back down the drop. So they can stay at the top. This can chug up here for 2 months, take us through the end of January. I'm not saying that we have to pull back, just that we might pull back. All right. Is there a stock? No, S5FI is a. It's not a stock. That's just a. The market measure. What do they call it? An index is what they call it on here. If you want a live version of this, you can go over to barchart.com and they'll actually update this live for you while the market's open. On TradingView, it's only updated end of day. That's what the little E means right there. So the D means delayed. I don't pay for data, but I kind of speculated that we may see ES do this head and shoulders thing before we break out even higher. So we may pull back in the shoulder before we can launch off. NASDAQ hovering right there at that breakout of the July highs. This does eliminate the impulsive setup for going lower. That doesn't mean we won't correct back down in the zone. Retest this breakout point. We broke out of the downtrend. It'd be classic to see that retest. And just to show that it happens over and over. I mean, we've got that breakout of there on right here. All of 22, we went down in this downtrend, lasted all year. We broke above, came down, retested, and then haven't looked back. Now we did this little from July through October correction. We've got that same downtrend line happening right there. And I kind of expect us to potentially retest. December could be kind of a down month before we can break out and go higher. Any questions? Let me know in the chat. Anyway, don't see how to, it's just roadmap line. Don't see how to join. It's right there on the video. Let's see. See if I can pop it up. It's in the description. I have that wasn't to the channel. That was to the admin page. Let's see. Go to Jeffrey Trader. You guys are on the webinar right now. jeffreytrader.com/YouTube. Let me pop this up. See what it'll show me. There we go. You guys are on the live. Look right here on the description. I'm going to play the video. Playing the video of me playing the video. It's right here in the description. Click more. The link is right there. Right down there under the video. jeffreytrader.com/roundtable. $5 right there. All right. And moving on. Moving on. You don't even download it. It's just a one-click button once you get in there. So right here, Russell, potentially the upside down roadmap pattern. We have retraced. This was a downtrend. We retraced to the roadmap line. So you run the fib from the low up here to the high. We have the 618 support level because it's below us. If we bounce off of it, we could go higher. If we get below this zone right in here where we had that low, it's just the same thing upside down, same pattern. There's the zone. We get below that zone. Likely we extend to the targets 1584, possibly 1514. And if you're like, well, how in the devil do you trade RTY 1 exclamation point? Easy. Just trade it with IWM. That's the Russell 2000 ETF. Just like ES is SPY, NQ1 is QQQ, RTY is IWM. This has potential to go lower. Those targets would be 156, possibly 149, if we break down below this support right here. Next up, CL. This is oil. How do you trade oil? Well, there's a lot of ways to trade oil. That's kind of beyond the scope. My favorite way is UCO. And somebody asked me yesterday, where is it that you would no longer be interested in this long play right now. Probably on a break below this 69 area, I'm going to get concerned about it, the viability of it going higher. We may extend significantly lower, possibly down to 55, to where the bigger pattern lines up with the 1272 here. So 69 area is kind of where I'm watching right now. Right down that orange box. And I've got a big arrow. If we get below that 69 area, we could, in fact, go down here. This right here is a measured bounce setup right now. And for me, that's quite bullish if we can do the reversal and break out and get back above that daily roadmap line. Right now, it's definitely showing that there's some support here. And Q3, oil was one of the most liquidated sectors. So there's potential that we may see this. Well, I think I misspoke there. Q3 was invested, but then we've dumped a lot as we turned Q3 into Q4 here. And this has opportunity to turn around. I'm seeing a lot of liquidation, and there's opportunity here, especially as people are looking into the abyss for oil. So, all right, how do you? I bought the upgrade for TradingView. How do you get the alerts? Well, for TradingView alerts, you just make a price alert right there. Click the button for a price alert, and you set up alerts. I don't publish alerts into TradingView. If you have an indicator that makes alerts, it's just a matter of setting the alerts. Now, if you want to know, that's beyond the scope of what I can talk about right here, but you can code your own indicators to give you alerts, and it's not all that difficult to do. There's about 9 godzillion examples online. Now look at this. Gold is almost right up to that 2040 target. Getting close. Same pattern. Bounced right off the roadmap line. 2040, possibly 2068 above that. And then we have the much bigger pattern back here from this pullback we did in May. That can lead us to 150 or 2156, possibly 2250. All right. Do I have a favorite primer? No, I have a whole class. It's called the Fibonacci class, and it's not for sale right now. So there is a whole class. I've taught it like 6 times. And for those that have subscribed to it, you have the whole archive of each different time I taught it. Bitcoin did the same pattern right there, bounced up. We've kind of exceeded the 1618 on that one. But that doesn't mean we won't go for the bigger measured bounce setup target, which takes us up in this zone around 45. Ethereum, same pattern. Right there, 23.15. Dollar breaking down. If we break below this downtrend of highs, this is where it's the reversal thing I was just talking about on the S&P and in NASDAQ. Like we broke through that downtrend, coming back to retest it. If we hold, that's bullish. If we break down below it, we're looking lower. That simple. PDD. There's just a few patterns that I watch. Like these things just happen to occur over and over in the market. And you may have heard of echo trades. That's kind of the whole basis behind that is repeatable patterns in the market. Echo trades focuses on one very specific pattern that shows up in multiple time frames. Uses a multi-time frame analysis. PDD popped right up into extreme targets. This one becoming likely that we're going to see a pullback. Right up to the 1618 of that big swing right there. Could it climb to 165? Yeah, it could. Is it likely? Not as likely. You can look at the little swings and you can look at the big swings. This one just happened to be on the weekly time frame here. Beautiful, right to the target. Now, what do we expect? A retrace. Could go higher, sure, but retrace is what I would expect, especially after that going exponential type move. You can see over here, we went exponential, we kept going exponential, and then we exponentially came right back down. All the way back down. MSTR. Same pattern on the daily chart. Bounced right here. Popped up, hit the 1272. Did a little retrace, and now I'm expecting to get the extension to that 1618, probably. Right around that 615 area. Yeah, right up in there. BA is in the zone where we could see a reversal. This one broke down below, retraced to that 618 level. If we hold this, we may drop on down further. If we can break above this consolidation up here, right up here around 230, let's put the alert right there, 233. We may go up to 262, possibly 284. If we turn down in this zone, watch out for an echo of this move right here. This move, echoing over here, right there. There's your potentials. We're either going down here, like 150, or possibly going up here to 260. It's unclear right now. We're stuck in that resistance. Resistance going higher, and we have support down here for going lower. Crux pushing up into resistance. This one may experience a retrace. Be very cautious. Very, very cautious on Crux. WPC. Right up to the roadmap line. Does this bounce? Does it break through? Change the trend to going up, or does it break back down and get an extension lower? Unclear at the moment. SWTX. That's a downtrend under the roadmap line. Still biased to the downside. CG. Carlisle Group. It's been a lot of sideways. A lot of sideways. Look how long this is just churned sideways. Could you make money buying at the lows and selling at the highs? Yeah. Are we near the highs? Yeah. So be careful. We may do another oscillation back down. And it's not a huge range. That's only like $11. Twilio. That's another one. Churning sideways, making lower highs here. Be careful. That one, up to the roadmap line, pull down lower. Up to the roadmap line, it could very well make a lower low. But at the same time, we have a series of higher lows. That's a watermelon seed squeeze. That's an unreliable pattern. You don't know if it's going to break up or break down. It can go either way. And then typically the breakout moves the amount of the initial. This is like winding up the spring. Right there. That was the initial spring size. Low to the high, first swing. So it can pop out or it can pop down. Either way. Could be talking like down to 27, 28-ish, or even up to like 116. So a ridiculous wide spread. That's unreliable. I wouldn't trade it until something more firm shows up. Now we could break out, we could retrace, and then set up a bullish thing. Entirely possible. This could be just a part of a big correction, and we could break down and do the down to 27 thing. Entirely possible. Unreliable. Coin is reaching right up near my target. Really beautiful. Only like 5 points left for that target on that last little bounce. I'm going to have to seriously consider booking my profit and hunting a new position on coin. I would love to see it pop 140, but the odds are 125 is all we're going to get before the next retrace. RNA. It's a biotech. Biotechs don't always follow the patterns. They can just jump ship at any time, so be careful on that. It's medtech, biotech, anything medical related where the FDA gets involved. All of a sudden, they just go off the script. So this one, though, is a bearish pattern, may go lower. IMVT, another biotech, same situation. They can just get crazy pops. They can get crazy drops that don't make any sense in the chart patterns. And that's why I tend to stay away from this stuff. There's plenty of other crap to look at without putting gambling in the biotech, medtech arena. ARGX, another one retracing, and that may fill the gap down. There's a crazy gap it left in there. Lost my. We may fill that gap down. It's another pharmaceutical. That's like what I'm talking about here. That was probably some sort of FDA news and popped up, but it can retrace it all the way back down. Zscaler announcing earnings yesterday after the close. Lost money, even though this is the game they play. Wrongimer, you were talking about this. Like, look at the estimated make 49, reported 67, but when we standardize it using standardized accounting practices, we lost 23 cents. But it still counts as a beat because what we reported was a beat over the estimate. What? That one was at the 1618 and probably needs to pull back to the roadmap line. All right. Next up, THAR, THAR. That looks like it's going in the toilet. It's a biotech dumpster fire. Look at that. It went from $3 to $1. Ouch. And it just did a reverse split. What the heck? Reverse splits are not bullish. That one's going in the toilet. NVO. Yeah, that one's NVO and Lilly continuing to rocket higher. Yeah, THAR, just for the for giggles, let's play the dumpster fire on THAR. Why would you want to get involved in that? You're just going to burn your money. So, and why would you want to trade that? Exactly. Why? What makes that look like a good deal? I mean, yuck. Anyway, BNS, right there. That's definitely hanging out at the lows. Be careful. That can easily make a lower low. Bias for the day, extremely cautious. We have that consumer confidence coming out in moments here. If I stay alive, we may be able to even pull it up here. Should hit in a few seconds. Let's pop over, let's look at the S&P, maybe on a 15-minute. See if anything gets sparky here. May have no reaction. Quite possibly. Possibly. Well, a little positive action, up a couple bucks. See, there's that market roadmap on the 15-minute. So, and let's see, refresh it, see if the consumer confidence, 102 came out positive. Look at that. Forecast was 100. We got 102. Previous was 104. Hey, I mean, consumers confident, apparently. Even though, you listen to those Black Friday numbers, up 2% this year from last year. That's just on the core sales numbers, though, the core amount of money that changed hands. But you consider inflation was like close to 4% over the last year over year. So actually, on a volume basis, we moved like 2% less stuff. Is that positive or negative? I don't know. That's they bake the numbers and try to make them look good. You know, more sales than last year. I guess that's good, but on less volume than last year. I mean, if you're running the business, that's pretty positive. If you're the one buying, you bought less stuff with more money. You tell me, good thing or bad thing? From a trader standpoint, I don't know. Did they make more money? I don't know. Probably not. If things cost more money. So, can I share my thoughts? I mean, that's positive, but I think the numbers are all big. The numbers don't matter. The numbers don't matter one hill of beans to the market at all. If there's any reaction, it's just a coincidence. We're working on topping out on the S&P. Probably going to see a pullback. PCE may be the thing. I am my position right now is a synthetic on coin, and it expires in January. I've been in it a good long time, and I may or may not go back into coin. It really depends on what happens. If it does another measured bounce back, another 618 retrace, I may get back in, but I may not. So spot I've been in and out of several times, for example, and this may be the last hurrah for me on spot for now. Shop, I made that 15,000% trade back there in May on that pop, and then I haven't been back into it, even though it did the pattern again. Even reversed right in my zone, and now it's going up to the 78 target. I found no great entry there. I wasn't keen on that big gap that it did there. So sometimes I just don't feel it anymore on a particular stock and just move on. There's literally, like, if you consider the crypto market has almost 2 million cryptos and the stock market has 5 to 10,000 stocks, I mean, it's like a waterfall of opportunities. There's no way to even get through 1% of the charts any given day. So you do the best you can. You find what you think is the best pattern and you go after it. That's what's best for me. May not be best for you. You got to stick with what you find your system, stick with it. This is a pattern that works. I really like it. It happens to work over and over, and I get things right, and people think it's crazy that it works, but it's a beautiful pattern, and it works. What else do you need? Thanks for watching. I'll be live with 30 Minutes of Awesome tonight at 5 p.m. where I take your requests for at least 30 minutes. Last week we went for an hour and a half, and I will check every ticker you bring. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell with the notifications, and set your calendar reminder for 5 p.m. Eastern. Come back, make requests. I'll do the best to cover everybody's ticker before I wrap it up. So come back, see me. I'll be live later on today.